Welcome, everyone, to episode 51 of the Short Wheelbase Podcast. This episode, we take a deep dive on the first RT to ever roll off the line at BMW.
The BMW Motorcycle Owners of America present the Airhead 247 Short Wheelbase. With members in all 50 states, Canada, and across the globe, the BMW MOA invites you to ride inspired. Learn more about membership benefits, including roadside assistance, tire hazard protection, and more at bmwmoa.org. The Short Wheelbase is also brought to you by Boxer 2 Valve, supplier of quality OEM and aftermarket parts and specialty tools, and by Barrington Motor Works, offering mail-order component repair and in-house mechanical services for vintage and classic BMW motorcycles. On the web at barringtonmotorworks.com.
Welcome, folks, to the show. Like I mentioned, we are going to take a deep dive on the first R100 RT to ever roll off the line at BMW. You might remember back in episode 26, we visited with Chuck Pryor. He had just purchased this bike. Great story behind that one, so check that episode out. But he has spent the last, year or so since that episode and restored the bike, went through it top to bottom. It is absolutely gorgeous. And he was kind enough to film a very detailed walk-around video of showing all the work he did, what the bike looks like now. So I'm not going to keep this quick. I am about to leave for my RTAF trip, speaking of RTs. So by the time you see this, me, Brendan Reams, and Ben Malloy will be on our bikes heading toward Yellowstone from Denver. So keep an eye out in the next couple of months for hopefully 2 episodes covering that trip. All of the fails and wins that we have along the way, riding 3 RTs that all have more than 100,000 miles. In fact, I believe Brandon's is about to roll 200,000. So it should be a great time. Keep an eye out for that. As always, thanks to the BMW MOA for sponsoring us. Please jump into the description below and grab yourself a free membership. The link is in the description. Also, jump into the comments. Let me know what you think of this amazing RT from Chuck Pryor. And without further ado, take it away, Chuck.
Hey, welcome to the video walk around of my 1979 R100 RT, VIN number 1. More on that a little bit later, but let's start with the question everybody asks. Who painted that motorcycle? Guy's name is Dustin Mabin, Mabin's Concepts. He's in Hendersonville, North Carolina. He did my GS, the Bieber bike from a couple of years ago, if you remember that one. He's spectacular. He's just really, really good. This one took a while. Getting that smoke fade proper and correct is just a real challenge, but obviously he nailed it. And I want to give a shout out to Music City Paintworks for the pinstripes, all hand pinstripes. Everything is Glazerite. Paint codes are correct. Ooh, the bane of my RT existence, those rubber boots. Those things are a pain. If you've ever installed them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the paint, yeah, man, it's just fantastic, and that's the first thing everybody notices. But this bike was completely disassembled all the way down to bare frame. Everything was repainted, including the wheels, fork sliders. Big shout out to my friend Gary Sanford for all of his mechanical help on this bike. He has an amazing shop just down the road from me, and he's a great friend, and he's awesome in every single way. So, Gary, thank you. The paint, though, as I mentioned, it's just stellar. I don't know how else to say it. And I'm even afraid sometimes to just roll this bike around because it's like, I don't want to scratch it. But it turned out great, and the thing is absolutely beautiful. Now, the originality on this bike, I tried to keep every single part original that I could. There were some things, obviously, that could not be reused because 50 years of time. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, as much originality as I could, including the Speedo and the tack, but they were fully rebuilt. Palo Alto speedometer, those guys are amazing, but as you can see, I used the original housing on it. The clock and voltmeter, Palo Alto went through those, completely refurbished. Everything is fresh. and in new working condition. Even a little special roundel for this bike. You can see they have a gold trim instead of the normal silver trim. They're a little thicker. So I thought, special bike, let's put some special roundels on them. So I did that as well. Original OEM saddlebags got repaired, restored as best as possible. These things, they get beat up over the years, but they're actually in pretty good shape, all things considered. And so those were retained as well. The one thing that could not be retained was the original exhaust, obviously the tires as well. And one thing you'll notice, any astute viewer, that tail light is a 1978 tail light. 1979, BMW changed them to the bigger ones. But the first four prototypes, VIN 1, 2, 3, and 4, obviously had 1978 parts because they were built in April of 1978. So that's one of the clues that this is definitely an early bike. Obviously, the VIN stamp on the frame. And nice job not getting the plate straight there. I fixed it after the video. I was like, I'm not going back and doing the video. I'll pull one of the side cases off so you can kind of see what's going on. Original pannier racks. Again, the rear wheel painted. The rear disc, brake disc, was just trash. So it got replaced, obviously, and the rear brake caliper got completely rebuilt, new pads, all that good stuff. Original shocks, believe it or not, they're actually still in really good condition and function extremely well, which is kind of surprising, but they actually do. Original, I mentioned the taillight, all the turn signal housing, all that stuff, everything is all brand new. Final drive got a refresh on it. Kept all the, the Krauser, those silly little belt buckle, terrible latching system, but it's original. And so I wanted to, keep this thing as much original as I could. You'll notice the silencers, those are not. The original silencers were just completely trashed. Oh, look at that, 6190001. The original paper tag was legible. I actually have some photos of it, but it was just too trashy to keep on the bike. That is a repop from our friends at Heritage Stickers. So with proof of ownership, they were able to provide a fresh VIN sticker from Europe. So thank you to those guys for doing that. Yeah, now you can see my crooked license plate, but obviously put fresh rubber on the front and back. The tires, the bike had been parked since 1999 when the gentleman passed away. I bought the bike from his son. Short Wheelbase podcast earlier, I go through the whole story about how I found the bike, where there's some really interesting parts of that too. So you can check that video out as well. Under the seat, fresh stuff. It is original seat, original, BMW Denfield seat, original toolkit. How about that? Still intact and all the tools there. Oh, look, it's a cable lock. I'll admit the cable lock was missing from this bike. I sourced this one from our friend Darren. Thank you, Darren. He provided, I bought it, but anyway, I got that from Darren. So thank you, Darren, for hooking me up with that. I appreciate it. By the way, those Moto batteries, I really like those. A lot of bang for the buck on those things. Refreshed the original rear fender. Obviously, you can see, oh, look at there, brand new BMW shop towel. I've had a couple of those sitting around and waiting for a good time to use it. That air pump that you saw in the shot there, also original and refreshed and fully functional. Changed out some switchgear. They were absolutely toast, as you can imagine, from 50 years. And the 79 RT, you'll notice that the storage box lock is in the back. That was the only year they did that. They changed that design because it was terrible. Oh, speaking of difficult rubber pieces, got to be careful there. Those rubber strips and those gaskets on the side storage pods, what a pain. Those things are crazy. These mirrors, 79 and 80, were the only year of this mirror mount style. They obviously changed it because it was a bad design. You drop this bike on its side, you're not only breaking the mirror, but you're breaking the stud boss on the inside of the fairing, and then you can't mount it. You can't properly mount the windshield. It's just a terrible design. However, airflow with these style mirrors and that style windshield, in my opinion, way better than the later style, because they were mounted to the outside of the fairing, and the wind, I always had a lot of buffeting on that style, but on this one, much better, and I think that's why. But it is a goofy design, but again, it's an original bike, and obviously wanted to keep it all original. The windshield is new old stock. Actually, they still make it. I got that from Max. Appreciate Max. Shout out to them for helping with a lot of these parts. I appreciate their great service. And so I'll pull back just a little bit more, do a little bit more of a walk around. But, I'm just sitting here, narrating this video and looking at us, I just go, man, that is a gorgeous motorcycle. And it really, really is. I would just say it's an eye catcher. I don't know how else to say it other than that. And if you haven't seen the video, the Short Wheelbase podcast video about how I found this bike and its legitimacy of being the very first one to ever roll off the assembly line. Here, I'll show you. I'll zoom in. 6190001 right there on the crankcase. And of course, it's stamped on the frame, and it's obviously has the paper tag to match it. And I do have photos of the original paper tag to verify the authenticity. But yeah, it's a pretty special bike. It's a pretty special find. And I gotta say, man, I am super happy with how this thing turned out. I think it is just absolutely beautiful. And I don't know what the odds of finding this thing on Facebook Marketplace would be, but I do know that I found it, and I'm grateful to Bob and his wife for letting me be the caretaker of his father's motorcycle that he bought in 1980 in Pennsylvania, which is where it spent its entire life. And again, check out that video if you haven't heard the whole backstory. But there it is, VIN number 1, 79 RT.
Thanks for joining us on the Short Wheelbase podcast, presented by the BMW Motorcycle Owners of America. To join the club, visit bmwmoa.org. You can find full-length episodes of the excerpts heard here on the Airhead 247 podcast. The Short Wheelbase podcast is produced and edited by Nick Malozzi. Audio segments by Jeff Glover. You can check in with Nick at Airhead Misfits on Instagram.